Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Let's go. Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Protect.
Yo, peace.
Protect your energy.
All right, you down for a little emotional will game?
Let's do it.
All right, I think you picked the category, so pick the inner circle. Anger, disgust, sad, happy, surprise, or fear.
Let's do happy, man.
Let's do happy.
happy.
All right, let me find an emotion. Tell me about a time when you felt inspired.
Oh, easy. I can tell about a recent time.
Okay.
Me and you just went on a date together. Friendship date, of course. Platonic.
Simply.
Simply. We went to a sip and spin DJ class.
Absolutely.
I've been talking about DJing sometime in the future and putting it off. I got the equipment ready, but I need to finish one task before I get to the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So going to that class also gave me inspiration. Like,
Nice.
I'm ready. So now it's got me hyped to, excited to want to do
Yeah,
it, put
for
it on my
sure.
calendar, get this going.
Yeah.
But I still got that one procrastination goal in the way. But I got inspired just seeing the DJ, being able to do it with you, which is a great lead into what we're gonna talk about today. But being able to do it with you in a fun, relaxed way was inspiring to me.
Absolutely.
It was just really inspiring. And again, with other people who've never done it before in there, it was just comfortable setting, being able to keep the mixes and stuff that we made.
That was awesome.
Super inspiring.
That was a good experience for sure.
Easy.
All right,
Easy
cool.
one. And what you got?
I'm going with fear.
Fear. She's a fear girly. These words are so. All right, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you my thought process. First thing that stood out to me, I was about to be like worthless, but I don't even really want to hear that. I want to hear when you were overwhelmed.
Ooh, shoot. I would say probably about a year ago, maybe right at a year ago, maybe like 8 months ago. More of a recent time. I think I felt overwhelmed with like the balance of work travel and like coming home and like managing house and like work. It was very tough. I had just started a new job to where I was traveling every week. We were doing Monday through Friday.
Leaving Monday mornings.
Leaving Monday mornings, getting back Friday evenings, sometimes having to stay till Saturday and get back Saturday morning. Like, it just depends. Hope you don't miss your flight or something. Like, get late, whatever. But I think it was just a very hard transition, and it was very overwhelming because it was a lot of change, a lot of discomfort. I felt like I was kind of doing it like it was, most of it was personal stuff. I got to wash my clothes, pack my bag, get my stuff together. So it was like nobody can really help me with this. Like I got to kind of do it. So I think that was a overwhelming experience as well.
Very overwhelming. The nature of traveling, that's crazy for work.
Yeah, you were getting sick often. So like I think I got sick a couple times around that time, and it was like I'm sick, I'm tired.
Still gotta work.
I got a lot to do at the house, like and then still trying to like balance the social life and have a partner or whatever else you got going on. Like still try to nurture all of your connections. So it was just a very overwhelming space. But I think once I got in the rhythm, I was able to kind of like self-manage and like pull myself. I felt like I was in the weeds, but I pulled myself out and kind of was like, all right, cool.
Working yourself out the garden. She acting brand new.
Come on now.
All right, thank you for sharing.
No
beautiful transition since you're talking about nurturing connections and stuff. That is the topic for the month. So welcome back to the Zen Trap. We got a great episode for y'all today.
Absolutely.
The mission here at the Zen Trap podcast is to inspire and empower listeners to continuously seek internal peace, to maximize their personal potential. I'm one of your two hosts, Zen P.
Yogi LG.
We got a great episode for y'all today. We rounding out the month of June. We're rounding out Gemini season. Been celebrating my birthday a little too hard. So glad I still got my voice and stuff. So
for sure.
Topic for the month is community and connection, how to nurture it, maintain it, build it, find it, friendships, all of that. Great topic idea too. I really love diving into this. Why don't you tell them about the book we got that we're rounding out the month with and we're reviewing today?
All right, so we are reviewing.
And before you do that, subscribe if you haven't. Please
hit
that subscribe
button.
For
sure. The book we're reviewing is We Should Get Together: The Secret to Cultivating Better Friendships. This is by Kat Vellos of
Velos. I don't.
Velos.
Yeah, can't remember.
I don't really know how to say it, but my apologies, Kat. This is definitely a cool read. I think let's jump right into
Let's
it.
jump right
Tell
into
me
it.
what would you how would you summarize this? What's your general overview or explanation?
All right, so I did the audiobook, so I wasn't able to. I didn't get a PDF in my audiobook, so I wasn't able to see the illustrations. Just wanted to throw that out there. But as far as the overall of the book, I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it. It was some sections that didn't necessarily relate with me too much, just because I'm not maybe in that stage of life and stuff. But as far as just an overall book for what we're talking about this month, nurturing, this book has everything you need in it. And
Everything.
you know me, it's your boy Practical P. This book gives you practical things you can do. It gives you links, books, so many resources,
Yeah.
practical resources. So it made to someone
Exercises.
exercises. It makes to someone who's not doing the exercises or just trying to read the book. That may make you like make it not boring, but make it a little not flow as something that's just telling you like stories and stuff. But the book even has stories and examples. It has everything I feel like you need out of a book. It was very
I
well
got it.
written. What about you?
I think I to piggyback off of you, absolutely. It is it's definitely about kind of going out and linking with people. Just recognizing that connection is very important and you should be trying to kind of find quality connections and maintain those. She talked a lot about like transplants. So like people moving and like living in different areas. I would say I agree in a sense and some of it didn't relate to me just because I feel like there was also some like basic stuff in there as far as
Very, very basic.
like simple stuff you should do to nurture friendships that like we most people should know and maybe a lot of people don't and maybe I take that for granted. So I think
You take you. I told you, you be living
maybe
in that Lindsay
I'm
bubble.
recognizing that and
You
so
live in
I
your bubble
think
with your friends, your group of people that's like you, and like,
yeah,
why is everybody they not like us?
they
They
not
not
like
like us.
us, they
They
not
not
like
like us.
us. So yeah, I think it was a good book though, good read overall. I would have liked to have the PDF as well, and also I think like at some points I kind of zoned out just because like yeah I know how to yeah I know this stuff.
Exactly. I hate
Yeah.
even like we can just have a little bit of open dialogue on that. Me going into the book, I'm saying this from a very privileged place, blessed place. I have very meaningful connections with the people in my life, whether it's a small or large group, just that's relative. But I feel like I have very quality connections. I put a lot of work into those and nurturing those. And like you said, reading some of the stuff just felt like not common sense, but those are the things you need to do to have great quality connections and friends. I'm in a place in my life where I'm not really looking for new friends. So reading a book
Yeah.
is good for the topic for the month, but just for me in general, I'm not. If I'm being honest, I'm almost turning down friends. People getting a little too close, and I'm running away. Like I'll even
Uh,
give you be frank. I like in the book being just letting people know, hey, I just don't really. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't really have. Not that I don't have the time. Like you're not a priority. I'm not prioritizing that right now.
yeah.
Not even that. I don't have the time. I'm not making finding new friends a priority right now. I have a
Mhm.
lot of other
And she
things
even
in my
gives
life that I
examples
want.
of like how you can turn down
How you can
like
turn down? Yeah, exactly. So
engagement, like opportunities,
it was
like
certain spots in the book that I paid more attention to, and certain that
yeah,
I kind of just needed to breeze over. Just because again, if I should go out and rank
yeah,
how good a friend I am, because
for
honestly, I'm
sure.
thinking I'm the
Top
best
tier.
thing since sliced bread, and people up here like,
So do you think like did you learn something new? Was there anything
oh
in the book that you were like, this is new? I didn't know that. I wouldn't have known that, or you felt like it was unique.
yeah, yeah, just the different techniques and stuff. If we can get into the book a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
let me think. More so again when I talk about learning lets you label things. It gives you the words to put the stuff.
Mhm.
So maybe things that we already knew, we just didn't have those deep words. So it just felt like it was validating a lot of the things that I already knew from the month.
Mhm.
So it gave me different terminologies, but I just really liked how the chapters and the sections were, and it feels like it brought a lot of the things we've learned together. I don't know if you noticed at the end when she mentioned about learning how to communicate better, just all these different techniques that you can do to be a better friend. She mentioned a book that we had already read, Nonviolent Communication. Just a lot of different resources. She mentioned Brene Brown.
Brene Brown, yep.
So
Atlas of the Heart.
what I did learn, and it validated for me, I think the most, is that to be a good, what can make you be a better friend and be one of the best friends is getting your EQ up, your emotional intelligence, like we talked about. So I'm glad we talked about that first, because this has helped.
Exactly.
So learning about yourself, getting terminology for different emotions and feelings will help you push the conversations. In short, the biggest thing I got from this is you if you want to have better friends and stop talking about surface level, and I ain't even call it mediocre, mundane, whatever the word you want to use, trivial things that do not matter to you, then you have to be the catalyst for that change and start having those deep conversations. You have a list of questions you can do. It's just so many resources in the book. You don't have an excuse for not putting yourself out there to make friends.
Yeah, for sure. I think
What about you?
something I felt like was unique, or I think kind of shifted me when I heard it, was kind of uh high quality friendships over quantity, which I felt like I've always known. But
Right.
those quality connections can tie to the you living a longer and more fulfilling life, even over, and this is the part that kind of hit, is even over some of your family connections, right?
Oh, sure.
Like, I think a lot of times, at least I know in my culture, my family, like a lot of people feel like family is, those are the people you're supposed to connect with the most, and sometimes your other connections fulfill you more. They're more like, you're more drawn to them, so nurturing them can be a little bit easier, a little less difficult, whatever. But ultimately, like, just knowing that it ain't about having a bunch of friends. It's about having those quality connections, being able to nurture them. And just because somebody's your family doesn't mean you have to spend time connecting and nurturing that connection. It could be the ones that bring more joy or that are higher quality to you.
And you don't choose your family. You're born into it.
Pick your friends, right?
You can choose your friends that could become family. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of those things. Favorite bar, favorite section.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go.
Rattle
I'm just gonna jump right into it. My favorite part, I guess, section was her talking about the seeds of connection and what that even means. So basically, she has 4 things that she feels are kind of the seeds of connection. Those 4 things are proximity, frequency, commitment, and compatibility. And I think what was really cool is that commitment is kind of one of those things where, like, you got to choose to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to both choose to do it. Versus like proximity is a little bit more like just of chance. So I think it was some parts of this where like you have to be intentional. Compatibility, you have to decide like if you're gonna nurture that. You got to pour into that compatibility. You got to feed into that.
Mutual investments.
Yeah, it's mutual investments, exactly. And so I think that was really cool. But her even saying like that is kind of the keys to connection, are those 4 things. And that makes me think about like who I'm around with proximity, how often I see those people with frequency, my commitment to our relationship and to each other, and then our compatibility as friends, if we enjoy things together, if we do things together. So all 4 of those things, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. That's literally how it is. So I love that section.
I love that. I was in the same spot. That's early in the book when she broke down those different sections. The ones I really liked were compatibility and commitment. Okay. Those were my 2 favorite. Compatibility, and she gave definitions that to me weren't just like textbook definitions. Gave you a very thought out. Yeah. So compatibility, capable of existing with each other in harmony. In moments of disagreement, you still share a strong respect and care for each other. That's compatibility. Commitment, the tangible and intangible ways you show up for your friendship. So that's talking about subconscious things, like while you're talking to me, am I holding eye contact with you? Am I actually actively listening and using some of those skills? Or am I just like, yeah, that's what's up? Or I'm just not even affirming nothing you're saying. Just so many ways and that you can just be there for a friend. But what I liked about the compatibility section, because I think what makes me and Yogi LG such good friends, and to me, some of the best friends, is when you can just exist in a room together and you don't have to necessarily be speaking. Yeah. We can be doing 2 separate things in the room together and we feel close. Like my friend is in that room. She knows I'm not annoyed. I'm not overly stimulated either way. I'm right where I want to be, chill. I'm having a great time, and she's not asking me questions like, "Are you okay?" I'm fine. Why you keep asking me all these questions? Are you okay? Do you want to talk about something? I should flip it, but that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
If I had to throw a favorite bar out there,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm getting excited.
Mm-hmm.
One, she defined the levels of friends between acquaintance, friend, and a
That was
close
good.
friend.
Yeah.
That was good. So acquaintance, friend of a friend that you kind of see in passing or you know about,
You know, through work, whatever.
and you love that acquaintance word.
Me
A
too.
friend, you have a connection, whatever that connection is. That's your friend. You got a connection. A close friend, you care about their well-being. You can confide in them and be vulnerable with them. You don't have to entertain them, and they tell you what you need to hear.
Yep. And you can rely on them in times of need.
That's a great close friend to me. And the last one, my really absolute favorite bar of what defining home is. Home is where you feel most comfortable and people notice or care when you are not there.
Dang. That now to notice and care when you are not there. Wow.
That's where your home is. That's your home for your community.
Wow, that's pretty
Favorite
good.
bar.
Love that. Love that.
What about you? You got any? You can throw them out.
Yeah, I got a couple. So I think she said something, and this my quotes aren't as like specific. I be like generalizing. But ultimately, like spontaneity and strangers, like those are two things. Like if you're gonna be involved in something that includes strangers or spontaneity, it seems like our society has kind of like shied away from that. So people don't like she was talking about like on Seinfeld, they used to just pop up at each other's house, and like they may bring somebody new too. Like and we now if somebody just pop up in my house and bring somebody with them. The fuck are y'all doing?
No. Where you think you at?
Hello.
Hi.
Bye. No, you cannot come in. Like, what? You didn't tell me you was coming. The door is locked. Like, Kramer used to just walk in the house. What? No. So I think she was just kind of talking about how we've gotten away from that and society has shifted. And I think with just, there's more reason to that. I think there's crime and other things.
And she goes through a lot of the reasons. Yeah, this book's very,
it's very thorough. Book. So I like that one. And then I liked vulnerability gets vulnerability. Courage is contagious.
It is.
So I think that was a quote from a Brene Brown thing as well. Vulnerability will get you someone to be more vulnerable with you as well. Like you got to give it to get it. And then you being courageous, that just encourages other people to do it too.
We see it all the time. Contagious. When you in these little emotional circles, when we talking about some random deep conversation. Last night, randomly, we waiting in line to get into a bar. Just pop out randomly off the top of it. Hey, y'all, what's been the best part of your year? Yeah. What and a year is from today to this date last year. What's the best thing that you can remember that's happened last year? Yeah. Just a general conversation started. And once one person starts and they say something emotional, you like, ooh, I can't just give some like surface thing. I can't just be like, oh. So just little stuff like that. I also really liked in the book her talking about the challenges. So a lot of people have all these excuses about why they aren't prioritizing having friends or close networks. She goes through like the top 4 reasons and breaks them down about how you can overcome them, analysis paralysis, just all these different things. So many examples. This is a great resource if you feel like you struggle making friends.
Absolutely.
Great resource to actually try those activities out.
I would give this to anybody who's like, I need friends. Oh, please read this.
Please read this book.
Please read this. Now, I will say this, and I do want to say this just about the book. She is very like takes friendship very serious, and I think it's like she wants to like see people a couple times a week, and like, oh, we want to go get dinner together, or I can do some of the tasks that I have to do around my house. She talks about getting unbusy, like if you're too busy, and I wanted to like perk up during that time because I feel like I'm be mad busy sometimes. So it's like, oh, okay, how can I get unbusy to make room for my friendships? And she was like, oh, even like if you got to clean out your closet, just do it with my friends.
That was my favorite.
And I was like, that was one of my favorite.
Like, that's the biggest thing I kind of took away too is to do errands together. Hey, we can go to the store together and just chat.
And I thought about us. I was like,
just having a ball. Like, oh, you got
picked it up.
You said that multiple times. We're like, man, we get old. I'm looking at a coupon book. Yeah, nobody's in here. It's 11 o'clock on a Friday. It's 11 o'clock on Friday. I'm in Costco. Hell yeah.
For sure. But I think that was pretty cool. Just trying to like give you so many tips and like, hey, you could do this, you could try this. And I think we're so like scared and nervous about how we're going to look and come off. And I even thought about this, like one of the things that I would say I even learned as far as like, or took away as far as a sense of like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this going forward. You talked about the sip and spin. I'm glad you brought that up. Mm-hmm. You were kind of mentioning it and like, oh yeah, I was just going to go by myself. And I felt a hesitation of me saying like, I'm thinking like immediately, like, nigga, I want to go. You ain't asked me to go. And I was like, damn, you could just ask, like, Lindsay, just be like, hey, can I go with you? And so it took courage to do that. And I'm like, why? He your best friend?
Why?
Like, why we could just go? And I was like, well, I don't want to think he can't go by himself. And I think that's another thing I want to get into and ask you. Like, I think we're also in this space of like people recognizing that they enjoy their alone time and they need to recharge and
Lindsay,
things of that sort. So no, not talking about you specifically, but
I know why.
In general,
I know
like,
why the hesitation.
Do you feel like people? How do you balance like being a friend to somebody and wanting to like spend time with them and nurture that connection, and then respecting their space to recharge? How do you find balance?
Great question. I think that goes with why in this book it talks a lot about, as I've been mentioning, knowing yourself and knowing your friend. Knowing yourself and knowing your friend. Yeah. If you don't know, ask. That you want to do those quality checks. Hey, I want to run a scenario by you. If I would have did this, how would that have made you feel and react? Boom, now you'll know. I think a good question in there they talked about, and you kind of even brought it up a little bit, when, let's say frequency as well, when somebody is saying, hey, I want to see you like 3-4 times a week, and you like, oh no, I'm cool with how we doing it now. Like once every 2 weeks is good. Like I'm full from that. So then you got to compromise. Check, So your friend is really, it's a relationship. You are in a relationship with your friends.
Yeah, for sure.
How much you care about that relationship is going to be shown through actions.
Yeah. I love this bar too. She said something that was so powerful. People talk about like, oh, I don't have time to make, a new friend. Like and she was like, literally every new relationship you get in, you're making a new friend. You make time to date somebody and like get to know them well enough to where they can become your significant other. You're dating officially now. You could do the same thing with a friend. It's just all about who you want to do it with.
We can just throw it out there. A lot of people just ain't good friends. Like sometimes you gotta look at yourself. I ain't saying you ain't fun. You
might be fun, but that's different than being a good friend.
You don't know yourself enough to make friends. That's where it's at. A lot of times you don't know what you like to do, so you just over here.
So you get friends that don't really correlate with what you like to do.
Correlate with what you want.
So then you never really are compatible.
You know, hey, maybe these people are cool, quote unquote, cool to you. But the stuff that they're talking about, you have zero interest in. They talking about cars. They talking about Sexy Red or something. And you just like, I want to talk about politics and this. You can find friends who want to have those well-rounded conversations with you. Or you can try it with those friends. Maybe they do want to have it. But either way, it takes you knowing what you want and trying to find a way to insert it in there and do that. Like the give and take. Another good bar in here. One was talking about, and we talk about this all the time from traveling a lot. The U.S. is not set up for you to be able to easily maneuver around. So that keeps you isolated. We stay so isolated here. And I think even you have mentioned this as well, too. It's a huge chapter on anti-social media. She talks about a time in her life when she was living with one friend. They living like Big Brother in this house. No internet, no TV.
Yeah. Did you see she even mentioned talking about doing a week where you do like no time. Like you don't track time. You don't look at clocks. Like you just live without.
Oh, I could do that.
A concept of time.
I'm gonna be late.
But you do what you have to do in that day. Just no specific time.
I'm gonna be late to some stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna work for 8 hours. I'm gonna still do this. I'm gonna still do that. But it's whenever I want. She a fan. No, that's crazy.
The one I was talking about is social media. Yeah. People see you on social media, so they feel like they don't need to reach out sometimes. And I had people even say that to me. And it's not that I don't like this, but it's always strange when somebody comes up to you and they start talking about the stuff you've done in your life because they follow you, but you don't talk on the internet.
And I always say it. I'd be like,
how the fuck you know that?
I'd be like, nah, even if I am that person saying it, I'd be like, I be seeing you on Instagram. I'm following from a distance. Like, I'm being a friend from a distance. Just to let you know.
I call out the awkwardness if I'm going to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm a silent fan. I see you went on this cruise or something. If you just go straight into it, just like asking questions.
Yeah, no.
How do you... you gotta set the stage. You gotta have a little goof and set the stage for a little bit.
I wanted to talk about that real quick, just the social media aspect. Do you feel like social media, with the friends that you do have, like the friends that you know, whether it's close friends or regular friends, do you feel like social media brings you closer or pushes you further apart?
It brings me closer. Okay. But again, it's a fake closeness. I know that. It's artificially close. Okay. Because if we don't have the actual speaking part, like if I'm not actually, if I'm not actually sending you love, like sending you a heart, typing you a message so that you know that I'm seeing it. Like if you don't know that I'm seeing it, then it's artificial. But if we have conversations,
like DMs and stuff,
DMs, if we're still connecting,
that's engagement.
That's engagement. Or if you kind of have an idea who's consistently liking your pictures and stuff when you post, so you kind of know who's seeing it, but you don't know who is not doing this stuff. Like you're not thinking about that. So to me, it does help if I'm engaging, but I know that it's superficial. What about you?
That just gave me such I just had a revelation. Like I have no idea who would like my stuff, but that's probably because I don't post.
No, you don't post. You don't ever like. And when you do post, it's one of those. Again, it's been so long, so they know it's like, oh, she's doing something because she posting.
I need to post more. Maybe I know who like me.
What? All right. So, what's something you would share with your loved ones from this book?
I think one of the best things I heard too, but I knew like you already had said it before, and I think other people say it. Nah, I think you've definitely said it. Is being a friend to yourself first. Like find like the things you're looking for in a friend. Be those things to yourself. You're gonna start attracting those types of things. So I have family and friends who I think both family and friends who struggle with making friends or keeping friends or nurturing those friendships. And so I think you said it, like just be that to yourself. Like do your own thing and your friend just making note of like being intentional when you are in that space to connect with people. Like, hey, I'm at the gym because I like going to the gym. And that's something I can do with myself or with a friend. And I would like to do it with a friend. So now when I'm at the gym, I'm more open, I'm more intentional. But ultimately, I know I can do it alone because I enjoy this thing. So that just keeping that at the forefront of your head. Like, and again, I think it goes to like being self-aware and knowing what you like and what you want to enjoy and what's going to bring you happiness, even if you're alone.
Even if you're alone.
Weed
these niggas out. Weed them out. Just like, that's so good. Because if you enjoy cooking, hey, y'all, I'm about to go in the kitchen and cook. Mm-hmm. I don't need nobody in here, but if somebody wants to sit out here or something, feel free. Oh, and that makes me even think about earlier when you talked about, hey, I don't want to invite myself to something you're telling me about. I think you bring stuff up like that in the same manner. You kind of expect me. I know you as a friend, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. What I know of you as a friend, if you tell me about something you're doing plans wise, and it's just you, that's you sending me an invite right then. Kind of a lot of times. I'm not saying it's always, but that's you saying, hey, I'm telling you what my plans are. You can come now. If you want me to come, it's like 60-40. You'll throw out there like, hey, look, you'll throw you trying in there. If it's a little iffy, you'll just kind of tell me what the plan is, or you won't give me many details, so I won't even have the option to kind of ask like that. I'll be like, all right,
that's solo.
She's solo in the night. But if you tell me kind of like details, like I'm probably we're gonna be here, something, you try to be like not put me in a situation where I have to ask you, trying to throw out there like, hey, if you want to roll, you can, or I think I'm just doing this. For sure. I usually leave it more open-ended just because I don't care. So, hey, I'm going to the movies. I know you don't really go to the movies like that, but if you want to this time, I just like you to know so that you have the option.
What's something you would share with your friends, family?
What's something I would, just like you said, the knowing yourself thing and doing those activities, you got to put yourself out there, man.
It's tough.
It's tough.
It was some spots in the book where I was like, ooh, that's tough. That would be tough for me to do. Like, she was just like, really, like, you got to go get it. Like, she was talking about being in a new city. When you're in a new city and you like been there for some years and you ain't made no meaningful connections and you just going through the motions of life, doing everything by yourself, you letting yourself kind of get into this space of I can live alone and I can do this, but you're really draining yourself of connection. You got to put in work to change that and transform that.
Two things I can share.
Okay.
One, it's something me and you do all the time. We do it randomly. We kind of stopped a little bit because I think we at that part where we just really not trying to nurture friendships. That's what I am. Call somebody random in your life that if you got an old friend and they on your heart, your spirit, don't text them. Don't literally just call the number and see if they pick up. You will be surprised how good of a conversation you have. Me and her it's usually when we drunk, but hey, it happens. Does it happen or does it happen?
It happens.
We'll go through our phone. Hey, man, call somebody you ain't talked to in like 5 years or something. We kind of crazy. We kind of crazy. We'll go through our phone and be like, hey, call somebody from college you ain't. Text them, call them right now. We both together. So and if you do it with a friend, it takes a little bit of the pressure and awkwardness
Yeah.
away. Where it's like, oh, I'm here too. Like, just
It's both of
we'll
us.
both
Yeah.
just make sound like, and I can imagine when they see the phone call too, like, what is going on?
Why are they calling?
So friends and family. It's also a little bit of science in it too that she laid out in the book. There was another, like, again, very subtle, top tier. If you having trouble making new friends because giving somebody the context of your whole life and they don't really know you like that time to warm up and really learn your quirks and different things, yeah, that does take a while. That takes investment. Sometimes you got chemistry immediately and you hit it off, but they don't know you that well. They don't know like what things you don't like to joke about, do like to joke about. So it's easier a lot of times to rekindle with like some older friends that already have contacts, like they know where you from. You ain't got to do all of this. You can just hit them up. So you can lean on that sometimes too. It doesn't have to be a new friend every single time. So
yeah, absolutely. Definitely reigniting some of those.
Call somebody random. Look, action. Do it. Call somebody.
All right. Did you see anything that you felt like I could learn from?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Let me hear it. What you got?
I've said this different ways. I think this book and all these other books and videos we've seen helps me to shape it a lot more better. I think I'm just refining how I'm saying it. You are very comfortable with assessing what you think because all it is what you think. I'm not saying you're not a good thought of it or bad, or I'm not even gauging your level of how good you are at it. What you think the amount of effort it'll take you to do something, or how good you'll be at something that you've never really done before, but maybe it's similar to some other activity. I would love for you to take that out sometimes to try different things that either you want to try or don't even want to try, and let the intrinsic goal in it, because they even said, and I jotted this down just because I wanted to remember when to tell you about it. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Intrinsic motivation. Once you learn in the process of trying is your reward. So taking something random that maybe you have no interest in and just doing it with either a friend or by yourself, just to get something out of trying something new and getting comfortable with being, and I'd rather be more specific. Do something that you're not good at. That going into it, you're not gonna be good at it, and you're gonna look like you're a beginner. Do something where you have to be a complete beginner. I would love for you to do something like that just to get that feeling of I'm okay. I think you stray away from stuff like that. So just doing something like that would be great.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think.
What do I mean?
I learned. Oh, I'm talking about you.
You talking
something
about
I can share with you.
How you feel about what I said?
I received
just in general.
Yeah, I received that.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
I think I do exactly what you say. I assess how difficult something is going to be. If I feel like it's not worth
whether
the effort is worth it or not, then I make a quick decision on if I'm going to try it or not. And yeah, that's exactly how I am. So I agree. I received that. I can definitely try to keep that on the forefront of my mind. Like, hey, this is a new experience. You may be not good at this. It's okay. Just enjoy this journey and experience.
Yeah, take away why do you need to be good at it? Why?
I like being good at stuff. You can't tell.
Yes, we're all competitive in this friendship.
All right, cool. One thing I learned, or I'm sorry, one thing I think
it's about me, Lindsay.
All right, cool.
What's one thing you would recommend for me?
I think they brought up in the book talking about like your level of engagement in some of those friendships, and I think sometimes the thrill of like new friendships, or not maybe not new friendships, but like new people for both of us is kind of like fun, like learning about somebody's life, like how they do stuff, and like that's the fun, and it causes you to, for me too as well. I think I do this as well, but sometimes it causes you to be a passive listener to your real friends or to your closest friends. It's because it's not as new. It's not as like ain't nothing super spicy happening, right? Like I'm not learning anything here. This is the same old shit. You know what I'm saying? So I would think even like just making sure at times where you kind of don't know when your friends need that. You don't always know when your friends need that active listening, but making sure that you're an active listener. I think you're just by default a lot of times because you're good at it, multitasking is a thing for you, and I think that creates that passive listening scenario.
That intangible, subconscious, not paying attention.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
No, I definitely can take that. I want to go out and do some quality checks when I'm done with this episode.
Yes, for sure.
I love what my friend did.
My
I got
friends,
2 questions
if
that I'm
you
about to
watching
poll.
this,
I'm about to be polling y'all.
I was just gonna say I'm coming with some questions.
I already got 3 off the rip. I'm still in Londa Don's. I'm about to ask how good of a listener I am, 1 to 5. How good am I as a friend? Maybe 1 to 5. And what's one thing I could do better as a friend? I'm gonna go around and get some responses from that.
I can't wait. It's gonna be good. So also that's another thing to do is do a quality check
Quality
in your friendships.
checks.
Like one that shows that you care about this friendship, and somebody that may have thought like, oh, they don't even fool with me no more, may realize like, oh, they really care about us connecting just by asking me this question or confirming like, hey, friend, are you okay? I know we haven't seen each other in a while. Do you feel disconnected? I would like to connect again. Like, although it may put you in a vulnerable space, it also gets vulnerability like from that friend. And if you care about their relationship, you should be trying to kind of pour into that vulnerability into
You
that.
think you good over here, and shit might not be sweet.
Shit might not be sweet for sure. I definitely want to know like how good of a friend I am. I think there are moments where I feel like I could do better, and there's moments where I feel like I'm excelling. So I would love to kind of get a poll from my friends for sure.
I don't know who's gonna tell you a bad. I think your friends like to mess with you and tell you you're a bad friend. Yeah. Hey, you got any? I guess last words on the book.
No, I think definitely read it. Honestly, read it. If you struggle with friends or you're looking for ways to connect or all of that, like just read a book. Read a book that will help you in a subject. I know a lot of times we are like get on social media for hours, and she talked about it like wasting days of your life that are not doing anything. You don't have anything to show for it. So one of the things you could do is just take an hour off social media and read a couple chapters of this and get some really good content on how to nurture your friendships.
I agree. I don't think I. Oh, last words. We can get into this section real quick. One section that was funny, and this can be my last words. I'm not a parent yet, but they gave a lot of advice for how it's hard to find, friends once you're a parent and balancing all of that, and then finding friends in the community. The funniest tip I saw that I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna forget this." Finding your friends of your kids' parents that you like early while they're kids and stuff, and getting into that gang while they're young is kind of crucial because they say people get close enough, and they said after first grade it's hard to get in there. I was like, oh, now this is the type of stuff I want to hear early. Like,
yeah, I will say they also had a section about like friends when they have relationships and how you kind of work that dynamic. Yeah. And I was like, dang, my best friend about to get married. I started to get emotional. Just what am I gonna do?
You still here, sister wife? You still here? We all know. We all know.
Nah, but definitely it was some good tips in there. So definitely take this chance to read this book again. The name of the book is
We Should Get Together.
We Should Get Together by Kat
Vellos. We don't know. Last words from me. Don't be scared. Don't put yourself in a box. Please do whatever you even want to call it, unorthodox things, whatever works for you. Seek it, do it. Don't be scared. Like my boy LaRussell says, I love watching his motivation and stuff. Leave empty, man. Yeah. If it's stuff you want to do out there with your life or goals, friendships, connections, people you want to talk to, do it. Don't wait. Do it now. Start now. It'll only get you better and learning and stuff. So leave empty. Yeah, that would be mine.
This has been another ZTP Zen Trap Perspective. If you have not already done so, please subscribe. Hit zentrappers.com. Get you some merch.
Please get you some merch. There's some fire stuff on there.
For sure. Follow us on Instagram. I've been one of your two hosts, Yogi LG.
Zen P. And if you can't do nothing else, make sure you protect your peace.
And protect your energy.
It's the Zen Trap.
We out.
We out.